Hi, I am Liam Maloney, manager here at Bottles in Providence, Rhode Island, and I am talking to you today about a new display that we have up that we're very excited about. We are featuring for this fall season W.L. Weller Special Reserve and W.L. Weller Antique. These are two bourbons from the Buffalo Trace Distillery that we've become very, very fond of, and a lot of our customers have too. We wanted to sort of display them, give them a little more attention, give them their due. We like this bourbon because, unlike many bourbons, it's a wheated bourbon. What that means is that when people make bourbon, they have to use by law, they must use at least 51% corn in their bill. And then the rest of it is usually barley and a small amount of rye. And what that rye does is create a sort of spicy, sharp note to the bourbon. Some distillers, instead of using rye, they use wheat. The wheat is much softer, much lighter, and it creates a bourbon with a more sweet and fruity and floral aroma to it and flavor, and a softer finish. When we brought this bourbon into the store, we were blown away by its flavor, and then we found out the price, and we thought that our distributor had actually made a mistake. We thought there's no way that it could cost this much. $16.99 for a bourbon of this quality is something you don't see every day, and something that we want you to be able to try. But don't just take our word for it. Recently we hosted Julianne Van Winkle III of the Van Winkle family, who makes Pappy Van Winkle, which everybody has heard of and everybody wants, but almost nobody can get. And he had some very good things to say about this whiskey, which is developed by his family.
Weller is one of my family's old whiskeys. It's sold here in Rhode Island. It's almost 7 years old. I buy this whiskey and drink it. I love it. It's really great, and it's a younger version of ours. So it's a good option. Have to have a nice wheated bourbon, I would suggest that.
First, which I mentioned, is the Special Reserve. It's a phenomenal value, a delicious whiskey. It's just about, or just over, I should say, 7 years old. And that wheat, as I mentioned, it doesn't make it a sweeter bourbon, but wheat isn't as spicy as rye. And what that means is that the caramel sugars and the vanillins and the oak and that are existing in the corn and the reaction of the yeast to the sugars that are there make for a much more floral, lightly fruity, incredibly smooth, and very, very soft bourbon in the glass. It's delicious, neat. It's also very, very mixable in any of your favorite bourbon cocktails. We like the Boulevardier or just a basic Manhattan. We also have the Weller Antique. Now, this is essentially the same juice as the Special Reserve, however, it's been bottled at a higher proof, 107 proof. That extra kick of alcohol brings out some of those more spicy notes that you would find in a more traditional recipe. It's not quite the same, but it's got the vanilla is sharper, and the finish is a little bit hotter and a little bit, it's more of a kick to it. So come visit us at our store here in Providence. We've got a lot of bourbon for you. We've got a lot of ideas for cocktail recipes for this fall season, and we have a lot of information to share with you about these and other bourbons, wines, and craft beers that you may be interested in. Hope to see you soon.